Good morning. Celeste Silver Cord here. I don't know what fun you guys are having. My lighting just went again. Someone broke the lighting here. Still haven't fixed my thing. Life, man. Life was crazy yesterday. I've been giggling. Because for real. Is that me? Yeah, giving me a hard time. Nope. This one doesn't announce when I come on because I don't have that many subscribers. So Mercury went shadow like 2 days ago, right? And Saturn is starting to station direct. So I find it really funny that they're going to like kind of switch. So Saturn is all about control and structure. So the control and stuff is going to change. So what's been happening the last few months is everybody, we've all been getting into the new order of things, right? What's today? Friday, 25th. The color's pink. Daylight savings time. I thought they said they're not doing daylight savings time. No, they should have done daylight savings time on the damn equinoxes because that's when it's supposed to be done. But no, we have to take a vote, move it around, change time. Makes no fucking sense now. Now I can't keep track of that shit. How long it took me to realize that it was on the solstices or on the equinoxes is when they changed the time. And then I finally get used to that, do that my whole adult life. And then they decide to just vote one day that somehow moving it forward and back a couple of weeks makes a fucking difference somehow on the East Coast. No sense. I don't understand that shit. Anyway, like I said, Mercury's in shadow phase. Anybody else been a little extra bitchy lately? It was a total bitch fest over here yesterday. I found it pretty funny. So, like, before I start. So, I had the whole thing with the crystal that morning, right? Yesterday morning, where I discovered that my son had broke my little crystal. So, here's how Pinky set the intention for the whole damn day. But she got a lot done. So, remember when I told you? An item's consciousness is based on its ability to affect the timelines, to affect the energy around, to affect in co-creation. So how did Pinky co-create my day yesterday? So I started out bitching about that, being upset that he's breaking my shit, thinking about how, I'm letting him use my computer, and he's going to break it, needs another one from the school, but my car's broken, I can't get to the school, and blah, 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 and all this other jazz. And finally, and then he wasn't being able to get the links from the school, and I finally snapped yesterday, and I cussed out one teacher, his special ed teacher, because I felt like if anybody should know the child's schedule, it should be the person who's constantly pulling them out of class. So I sent her a text message, and I got a couple of F-bombs to really emphasize the fact that I am having an anxiety attack over the fact that you guys are giving me a hard time because I can't get this kid on classes, and you're not helping. Nobody there is helping me get a hold of this. I don't understand why my son can't have a regular, printed, set schedule like every other child in the school. So I did that, and then I sent an email to the assistant principal, also explaining that I needed help and how upset I was about everything and how it was going. And yeah, just a general, not a bitchy. I was actually more polite with him than I was with her. And then he calls me back, and he essentially, the special ed teacher had called and told on me. And then he saw my email, and then he decided to call me. And he was like, if I ever want to vent and I need to cuss and everything else like that, I can definitely do that with him. Just don't do it. And I had to apologize to the special ed teacher, which I do feel bad. But I don't feel bad in the same sense because this all, as far as I'm concerned, was common sense, right? The kid should have a set schedule of when he's doing what. Now, I understand the speech therapies and things like that are outside contracts so that they don't have a lot of control over those. But the things that are held on within the entire school, all the teachers should be on track. The same point with these kids. So I got that resolved. Um, and they actually brought me out a computer and took the broken one for me because it turns out the assistant principal lives in my town. So that was cool. Rob comes home. He talks about how he was having a bitchy day at work yesterday too. And last night there was a big argument. It's just the basics. It's just the basics. I mean, I say big argument, but it's the same thing with my family. We're Italians. We're just loud. We're just loud people. I mean, not only are we Italians, so we're already boisterous and very flamboyant when we're talking, and we get very excited. The patriarch of the family is deaf. My grandfather, he could barely hear. So we all, and he's been hard of hearing since my mom was a kid. I'm not sure something happened with the Marines or one of those jobs, but so we've always been trying to be very loud. So when we get into arguments, man. Oh, we're so loud about it. But it's diffused. And I just wanted to put that warning out that and I kind of said it too. I was like, it's real funny, over the last 2-3 years where I've been trying to work on all this stuff, and I was trying to build up this whole thing, and I was trying to include my family in it. I was called a control freak and a bitch, and I wasn't giving everybody enough credit, and I was asking people to do too much stuff, and I was micromanaging too much shit, and blah, 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 blah. Well, at those times, our numbers online were growing steadily, and I was doing things for the algorithms and things like that. They didn't understand what I was doing. And they also tried to, one of the family members that I had involved with everything, tried to go off. She took it as competition. Everything is competition. Everything we do, she has to try to be better than me. If we do clay, because I can rock out clay faster because I do more rounded designs when I do things. Her deal was to try to be as intricate as possible, but she never made anything that came out right because she was trying to be more intricate than her skills would allow her to. And like I said, and I did the cover and the silver cord, and then she made a bunch of other pages instead of helping me with my page because I was, like I said, I was too controlling. I was blah, 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 blah. Same thing with everybody else. Same thing with my home life was going on. So I backed the fuck off. And I've been backed off for a while, probably since Chiron first went retrograde in Aries. I was like, you know what? It was after my mental breakdown that I really did the back off. So it would have been back in like last October that I did I just stepped back. I just said, fuck it. Fuck it. You guys really don't support me. Like you say you do, you don't give a fuck. If I would have stopped, you wouldn't even notice. So I backed off. I went to just doing the YouTubes, and then the summer hit and it became too much of a pain in the ass to do personal readings during the day at home. Where and when am I supposed to fucking schedule this shit? And everybody's like, you should get more readings. You should get more readings. I would be able to get more readings, but I have no help. And I take care of 3 children and a disabled adult that all need my help to micromanage their fucking lives or they can't function. So I backed off on it all. And I was tired of being called a bitch. So I stopped micromanaging anybody. I stopped telling anybody what to do. What came to me for advice, I would sure tell you. I don't know what to do. I no longer offer my opinions or advice to anybody, especially motherfuckers who weren't taking it. And then when I did offer advice freely without having to be asked, and that's my problem, is I will try to help people even if they don't ask me to. I seem to be the only person in my world, like besides Rob. Rob's pretty good at it, and Alyssa's picking it up, that can just see when something needs to be done and then just do it. Everybody else in my world cannot function unless someone tells them everything they need to do. And that's difficult to deal with, man. Because you don't want to micromanage people. I have to do that with my kids. I don't have to do that with grown-ups. You see the sink's full of dishes, wash some fucking dishes. It's not that hard. Especially if you're living in a house where you never have to cook. Just saying. And then I got other people that are just like, oh, we help you so much and now you're being mean to us. Yeah, you help me out sometimes. But the shit that you're supposed to do, like pay your child. Okay, you help me fix my car. How about pay your fucking child support, and then I could afford my bills, and then I would have extra money to fix my own fucking car when it breaks down. I wouldn't need your help. I hate people who create a crisis and then help you with the crisis and then want credit for helping you with the crisis that they essentially created through their own shitty behavior. But nobody else sees it that way. I'm just making this all up. I don't understand anything about human psychology or nothing like that. Look, I did not take a single course on none of this shit. Any of that. I didn't do any of that. And it trips me out because I never really followed Dolores Cannon either. Like, I've heard of her a couple of times. I've shared some of her memes and her quotes and stuff. I had the basic understanding of what she did. Like, I knew she was a hypnotist. I thought she was like a Pleiadian channeler or some shit. But I'm watching a few of her things lately, and it trips me out because she literally says the same things I've been saying. But she said this shit like 10 years ago, and I was completely unaware. It's nice to have the confirmations, but a lot of people think that some of us are just copying these people. No, we're just getting the same downloads. And I don't know, I'm slightly different. Up here, I don't need, to hit a certain meditative state. And I don't need someone else to channel my messages. And I don't know. I've been trying to put it together, trying to find it in words, And then every time I go to start explaining it, I always get that quote in the back of my head that said, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you probably shouldn't be trying to explain it. I'm like, you're kind of right. You're right. And I don't know all the answers yet either. It's just, and people don't understand that. They're like, how do you know what you know, but you don't know stuff? And I'm like, because you just get pieces to the puzzle. It's like dealing with timelines. It's like untangling necklace strings. And then you'll get one untangled a little bit of a ways, but there's still these other three that are tangled together that you're still trying to figure out. The real secret is you don't need to figure anything out. You just need to do you. But yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that's how Pinky set the whole day. But she had me going first thing in the morning. And by the end of the day, yeah, I got everything resolved with everybody through all the minor communication breakdowns. And by the end of the night, guess who everybody wants to take charge again? Oh man, it's been long several months over here. 2020 has been a very long year sitting on my ass doing nothing. Waiting for it to finally dawn on fucking people how much shit I was doing before. Funny. And I know, it probably won't last. They're going to want their turns in charge, and I'll have to figure out how to fucking... I hate it, because you feel like you're manipulating situations when you have to do stuff like that. What? When you recognize a pattern in people who refuse to wake up. What? Okay, so next time someone gets a little bit power hungry, I need to dole them a job and make it sure that I make sure it feels super important. When I can't actually trust them with anything important, so I have to trust them with bullshit and amp it up and make it sound like it's important. So that they can feel it's children, and it's like you're either some sort of channel for things, and you're dealing with such high concepts. Been having such a hard time doing that with Rob too. Been trying to do videos where we're talking about more stuff, but he always tells me I get too deep and he doesn't think people will understand. I'm like, I think more people will understand than you think. But at the same time, I'm not 100% on all my theories. I don't want anybody running with my theories thinking that, like, you know, that's facts. It's not. My magic cards. You know, it's just like people who think the Bible is infallible. No, the Bible was, you know, the Bible was created stories, and it came from up here, but it was put through the perceptions and interpretations of the writers. Everybody getting downloads is putting it through their own perceptions, you know. If you're into the Pleiadian, Arcturian, Saurian things, then yeah, your downloads will come in the form of a Pleiadian. If you're really into Christianity, your downloads and guides will come in the form of angels and Jesus or Mother Mary. It's, you know, the information's always pretty much the same, along the same lines. Everybody's just using different words and terminologies to explain what they understand. You know, I've been enjoying listening to Dolores because she actually, you know, and I don't know, you know, how much she influenced just the people I talk to on a regular basis anyway, as to why now I can understand her terminology so much. I have problems discerning different levels, you know, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D. Like I heard 8D is the Akashic Records. You know, just, and there's beings on every level, you know, because, and this is what I understand from my perspective and how I work with my guides and stuff like that, is that we are 4D spirits within a 3D body, which is why we can sense and be aware of 4D spirits, right? Now, and that's spirit guides. Spirit guides are 4D beings, right? Spirit guides, ghosts are 4D beings. So when I say spirit guide, I mean someone who has died is on the other side that is helping you. That is a spirit guide. That is a spiritual personality energy imprint of a person from a specific one lifetime. That's a ghost. The angels and dragons and things of that nature are 5D. From my perception of the information that I have received, downloaded, and researched, those are 5D spirits. 5D. The universal one consciousness is a collective of many spirits on the 6D. Not really sure what's on the 7D, but the 8D is supposed to be the Akashic Records. Now, the Akashic Records is an accumulated knowledge of all the realms. From 8D down to probably 2D. It probably does do 2D, down to, you know, rocks and animals and things, and ants and whatnot, you know, that don't have anything but instinct. Those are 2D. They can't think beyond just instinct. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot on that too. Whereas Leo said something one time. He goes, the reason we perceive everything in 3D is because we're technically in 4D. We see in 3D. And then I was like, well, then are people who can see spirits and ghosts on a regular basis actually 5D beings in 3D bodies? And then what about those of us who have seen 5D spirits? Does that mean that we are closer connected to, we are a fractal piece of the 6D consciousness put into a 3D body in order to experience and work our way back up, elevating everybody else with us? All right. I have watched a lot of documentaries from a lot of different people. That is my perception of what I can remember and what I put together on my own. I do not memorize information, never have. I never will. My brain just won't do it. I receive knowledge, and then my brain calculates it into all the other knowledge I've accumulated. I did this with religions. I started with religions when I was very young. I started with Egyptology when I was like my daughter's age. Big project I had in middle school was we did all the different religions. I had Hinduism. I really went off the deep end with religions those years, things of that nature. And then I put it all together. And then I put it all together with what I learned in Sunday school to come up with, my baseline of, okay, this is what religion says is going on. Baseline. I've been doing the same thing with spiritual knowledges and spiritual gurus and trying to put together, like I said, the last couple of weeks I've been trying to put together the similarities and things and the messages between Edgar Cayce, The Law of One, and Dolores Cannon. She's a new add-in to the other things I've been researching. Some of you have followed me for a long time, knew last summer I was on a wormhole between the similarities between Nikola Tesla and Aleister Crowley. I just go off the deep end sometimes. Those are my rabbit holes, all right? But I'm sure you guys are done listening to me. I've been rambling for 20 minutes, so here we go. What are we looking for? I love it in this card, this deck. Four of Cups. Now, Four of Cups in the other decks is always like, looking away, oh, look at that cup. None of these are what I want. Woe is me. I will never receive a lover good enough for me because I want to judge everybody else to the point where I'm alone sitting by a tree looking like an asshole. This deck, that's not about that. This deck is, yes, you are looking for forever, but you're not ignoring everybody around you. That's what you're looking for. You're actually looking for love. It's not a superficial thing that you're trying to push away. You're looking for that forever love, right? Something that makes your heart soar. I see you making plans and stuff like that, trying to set a solid foundation, building up some connections. I say that because this one has the two dragons in the star there, right? This is the end goal, always for everybody. What we just want a happy life, just the basics. And that's the thing. I mean, you can have all the money in the world and still not have the basics for a happy life. It all depends on your connections. Some things money cannot buy. And that's why it's up to you to make sure that you are tending your own garden there, right? It is your job to take care of your own flowers and make sure they bloom. It's your job to prune back the dead in your garden so that fresh shoots can bloom. It's your job to tend these things. And the King of Hearts understands that. And a lot of people will say the King of Hearts is the one, he is in control of his cup. In this deck, you are in control of your garden. And yes, it goes through phases and stages. But it is your job that even when your garden is in its dormant stages, as it is going into now in this time of year, that it is your job that you still do cut back the dead and prepare the soil for the next harvest so that you will have beautiful flowers in the spring. It's never-ending job maintaining your own garden. Still having a little bit of a struggle balancing, though. Two of Pentacles reversed. What? Trying to balance, and that's, I think, something I was bitching about before. Everybody's like, you need to do more readings. And I'm like, I would love to do more readings. I truly enjoy doing my readings, especially past life readings. Thanks for watching some of Dolores Cannon. I understand a little bit more about what it is I'm actually doing when I do those readings and why sometimes, as hard as I try to stay on the past life format, sometimes that is just not what works out in those readings. I start with the past, like the twin flame past life readings will just stay within the format of a past life and give you all the messages of what happened with that connection in that past life. But a general past life reading, it'll start with a past life basic pattern, but then it generally just goes off the rails at that point. The universe tells you what the hell it wants to tell you. I don't know. People seem to enjoy it. I got to get to the Zen Den this weekend. All right. So we're working on balancing that out. And we all still have the same goals as we've always had. Happy life, solid connections, things of that nature. So reversed, this card is sitting and it's pretty much playing the victim mode, right? Woe is me, everybody's so mean to me. This is getting over that. Okay, everybody's mean to me. Like I said, fine. I'm the bitch. I'm controlling. I micromanage too much. I expect too much from people. You know, blah, 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 blah. Fine, let me sit back. But I'm not going to tell any of you what to fucking do anymore. I'll let you do whatever the fuck you want to do. And we'll see where we're at in 6 months. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yeah, sitting on your ass makes it feel like the Wheel of Fortune just dead stop, right? 6 of Wands. Oh, my God, where could there be victory in that? I'm so oppressed by all this swords and sticks and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Why is the universe doing this to me? How can I possibly hold out any longer and wait for these people to realize that everything that I have been doing and I need to sit still? This sucks. I want to go. This is really, really hard to sit still. Why is the universe doing to this? Universe is not punishing you. I have been saying this for years. The universe is not punishing you. If you never went through the challenges, if it never tested you, how would you ever know how strong you are? You would never believe how strong you are if you never went through anything. Look, it sucks. And this is a collective reading. Collectively, for those of us who are enlightened, for our eyes to see and ears to hear what's really going on, collectively, those of us who were ahead of the curve before all this shit started over the last 2 years, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I mean, for most of us, it sucks. There's been a handful of people who were able to grasp and be granted that success during this time. Now, they were able to grasp and have that, one, because they were smart enough to realize it was right here and all they had to do was reach up, grab it, and pull it down. Two, it was made easier for them because they were in a... Everybody I know that was super successful over the last 2 years started out 2 years ago with nobody in their lives. Just saying. The only people who are able to really sit back, go, what do I want? I want this. Boom. There is no one else in my reality co-creating shit for me. I'm going to pull this down and have this. And now 99% of the rest of the population did not have that luxury. All right? But these people were allowed to do it to inspire you to the fact that it is possible. But it will be harder for anybody who is trying to do this with already established people in their lives. How do I know this? Because the handful of people who went boom, boom, shot up to their top now have people in their lives. And how much harder is it, truckers? Oh, it's a lot harder than it was before, isn't it? Oh, can't just make all those self-centered decisions, can you? No. Now you have to think, if I move, I have to make sure I have a room for my mama. If I break up with my girlfriend, what will my kids think? Funny now that all the pressures that the rest of us were dealing with that were so easy for you to tell us to just cut them all out and go on your way. Now you have people in your lives that you guys can't just cut out of your lives. Now they get to understand what we were going through 2 years ago while we were watching them shoot up. Only now they have the full-on 10 of rods. They have the full-on 10. And they're having to deal with maintaining that. And their 10 of pentacles. And their 10 of cups. The 10s. Everybody wants the 10s, but they forget the 10 of cups comes with The Ten of Rods, the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. You have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, as great as they are, come with the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Rods. So they come with the anxiety and the stress of fucking maintaining that shit. So you gotta be careful what you wish for, guys. Work on your skills. Keep building that up. This is still, like I said, this pops up almost every morning for us, guys. Every morning in different decks. Two of Cups. This is all about that connection, those strong connections, not just in romance, in friendships, in connecting with the world. This is all about making genuine, loving connections beyond sex, beyond romance, actual love connections. The past was difficult. Looking back on it negatively all the time and dragging up. This is not allowing people in your life to change. This is not allowing people in your life to evolve. This is defending yourself against personalities and people that don't really exist anymore, okay? People have evolved. They have grown. They can change. You are not the only person in the world that is evolving and changing. And if you constantly are sitting there going, I'm better than everybody, I am so woke, and you're just pop, pop, pop. No, you can't possibly be woke. 2 years ago you did this. Pop, pop, pop. That's what this is. You really want to evolve the planet. You really want to elevate it. You need to allow people to grow and change. And I know that sucks because that card leads to a lot of disappointment, and it makes you want to say a lot of immature shit whenever somebody slightly backtracks on it, you know. And I say this too all the time. Don't treat the new me like the old me never existed. I explain this to Rob too, because I'll walk with him. You know, he's like, "You're gonna walk through that neighborhood." I'm like, "I'm gonna fuck. You have no idea what I've gone through in my life. All right? Don't treat the new me like the old me never existed." Have no doubt there are people in this world that do affect energy and can affect the energy of a group. And it really depends. You got to be careful with people who have those abilities because, yeah, we can elevate a group to having a good time. But if the energy is threatening or dangerous in any way, yeah, just because we prefer to be peaceful does not mean we don't know how to be violent. We will match the frequency energy because that's how you control energy in a group. But you have to initially first match the energy of everybody else. And then once you realize what frequency they're on, then you can manipulate it. If that makes any sense. Look, I haven't always been perfect at this shit either. You know, Page of Swords is all about immature words. You know, I mean, this is reversed. So this is all about delivering immature words, saying things in an immature manner, being petty. Like I said, with that reversed Six of Cups, holding on to the past, negative energies, not allowing people to change. Now, the overall card I got from this is the Two of Wands. We all are looking towards the future right now. We all are trying to build up something great. I know I've got a lot of plans and things lined up for 2021. I don't know, you guys are like, why are you waiting so long? And everybody around me is, why are you waiting so long? You know, because why? Because they're stressing money. They want me to make more money, and I'm like, I can't. Why? Because you need me to. Because you need me to, and you reside on a frequency of lack. So because you're relying on me to make your money, and you live in a poverty lack mindset, I can't make money because the universe won't give it to me because it knows I will give it to you. Oh, is that reversed? Is that victim blaming? Is it? Is it? Is it? I'm not sure. You tell me. You tell me. Because that's the best I can figure. Because I was doing fine with making money until I started taking on more responsibilities of other people and helping people supply their vices and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden I don't have money. They're stressing out. And none of my stuff is working. And it's because, like I said, the universe, you can help people as much as you want. But if they're in a shit frequency, the universe will block you from being able to help them. No matter how high your frequency, you can't elevate someone else if they don't want to be elevated. You can manipulate them as much as you want. You can get little bursts out of them, but in general, they'll just fall right back down into whatever shit show they were in before. Harmony. Keep saying we're supposed to be finding our soul tribe, guys. We're supposed to be emerging out into the world. A lot of us have become agoraphobic recluses. It's going to be coming time that we are supposed to be emerging out into the world and harmonizing with each other. The more light workers, star seeds, Pleiadians, I don't care. As long as you're vibrating that light frequency, we are going to start to be expected to get out in the world more, because the more we get out and harmonize with each other, the more we emerge and harmonize with each other, the more we will overcome. That's what we're supposed to do. That's how we raise the frequency of the earth. Now, the problem that we deal with, we have the shadow cards. I should have done before the earth magics. We got the parasites. Now, are they technically parasites, these people that are stuck in the lack frequency and essentially blocking the energy of the whole house? No, they're not really parasites. They're not. But they put in enough work of their own in the past. But there are genuine parasites out there that are out to just use you. You need to recognize who's using you, who's draining your energy. And most dangerous parasite is the one that makes you feel really good with them, but then as soon as they're gone, you feel terrible. As soon as you, and they have a way, and you know they cause it, because they have a very slight way of saying certain things right before they leave to plant a seed of doubt, or knock your confidence just a little bit, or something along those lines. Those are the parasites. What? I will amp you up and make you shine as long as you are within my presence, but before I leave, I'll make sure to dull your shine before I go, so that nobody else can see how sparkly you are. Watch out for those type of parasites, guys. They are out there for every light worker. You have a dualistic counterpart in this world. All right? Bride in a cage. This is about being stuck someplace you don't belong. This is the gilded cage. This is... Ever see the movie The Wedding Planner? Where she plans that whole wedding, and then at the end, the bride and the groom realize they've been nothing but friends really for a while now, and they're just getting married because they dated all through college, and their parents and everybody expected them to get married, so they were just following things, and then they realized that, you know, they're really actually quite bored with each other all the time, and it's not really the connection. That's the bride in the cage. What does she have in her press? It's also the gilded cage. This is about people who are staying together just for money, or staying in a relationship, or getting in a relationship. And you know what gets you into this? Online dating. When you're looking at things like what kind of car do they drive, what kind of job do they have, what kind of money do they make. That's what gets you in the bride in the cage, because you're not actually going out meeting people, feeling their energy before you decide to start dating them and getting involved. All right, dragonflies, you bring light to this world. Focus on earth energy today. This is all about asking the element of earth for grounding, stability, strength in times of chaos. Like I said, Mercury's going into retrograde, Saturn's stationing direct. Control, the big shifts are coming, and communication breakdowns. Ground every chance you get. The sun, the golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. Ground someplace in the sunshine and focus your energy on absorbing that light energy, because you will be called to be making big moves here as soon as the world opens up again. Like I said, it will not be locked down forever. What are we all heading towards? Happy love, a joyful, stable partnership, and good friends. It's beyond romance at this point, guys. Stop. The reason you are so miserable and lonely, a lot of people, is because you are so set on the fact that if you are not in a relationship, you cannot possibly find love and be happy anywhere else. And that's such bullshit. Your girlfriends and your guy friends or whatever, they love you. They want to hang out with you. What about those relationships? Those relationships don't count for nothing. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. You know, when I first broke up with my second husband, both him and my first husband were actually sending me stuff to help out with the kids. They sent me jackets for the kids. They were, sent me a couple bucks to help with the bills because they're like, oh, we love the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids. My first husband was finally paying child support the first time in 7 fucking years. And it wasn't much. It was only like, 100 here, 60 there, but it was something. And it was regular. He was doing something weekly, which I really appreciated. And then I got a boyfriend. And suddenly, nobody gave a fuck about them kids anymore. Because they never cared about them to begin with. They wanted back in my pants. They wanted a relationship. They wanted sex. They wanted romance. And they're destroying their relationship with their kids. And I'm sorry, I know it's none of my second husband's responsibility to help take care of those kids, but stop going around and saying that you love them like your own when you treat them as shitty as their deadbeat real dad does. That's all I got to say about that. So that's a message out there for my gents. For the ladies, focus on your friendships, guys. Focus on building those friendships. You build a nice... It's not a fake world. I'm going really long today, but it is not a fake world. I grew up on Long Island. My biggest role models are my aunt and my uncle. And my aunt and my uncle are best friends with my aunt's sister and her husband, and they do all kinds of things together. They live in the suburbs of Long Island. They rent bungalow beaches on Fire Island, and they go taking their boats out in the bay, and they go and rent whole lines of rows of campgrounds, and they go camping, and they still hang out with all their friends that were at their wedding 20-some years ago, and all their kids grew up together. And yeah, it sounds fake, right? No, that's, in my brain, that's normality. That is normality for me, because I grew up in a place where that exists within the 3D world. It still does. I could go visit my uncle in New York right now, and I guarantee this weekend they're having a backyard barbecue in his bar that he built off the back of his house with wraps around his fucking pool that he put in himself. Just saying. The world I grew up in, everybody had nice big backyard porches. Why? They would have a weekend where a new couple would buy a house and they would have a barbecue, and everybody would come over and help them build a fucking porch on their house. And nobody asked for money and nobody cared. And I don't know when that stopped, but I noticed that even with my New York family down here now that have been down here for several years, it's like nobody just helps anybody do anything anymore. Everybody expects, what, you going to pay me for it? What are you going to do for me for it? We got to get back out of that, guys. That's what's destroying everybody's friendships. I don't know what happened to those guys who used to hang out on the weekend and work on their trucks together without asking for money or help or anything else like that. Some of the guys would help work on the truck, and there'd be the one guy that just sat on the side and drank beer and bullshit with everybody. You weren't expected to help. You helped if you could or if you wanted to. But everybody was able to hang out without needing something else. And that's the world that we are all trying to move back into, where friendships are real, connections are real. Help isn't considered a burden. It's not a burden to help someone. You're not keeping track of who's doing what and how much people owe you. Oh, I did this for them. They owe me that. Da, 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 da. It's not how it's supposed to be, guys. That's not coming from a love center. All right? All right. I think I've rambled on enough. Good Lord. 43 minutes. Woo! Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. I love you very much. It's Friday morning for me. I have 3-day weekends now because everybody's off. Rob works long days, first 4 days a week, and everybody's off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I am going to go figure out what the hell we're going to do this weekend. And, I love y'all. Have a beautiful day. And I will try to get on here either later or tomorrow with another reading.